Welcome to LOA Today. I'm Walt Thiessen. With me on the show today, Debbie G and Neo Positivity. This is your daily dose of happy. We are so happy you decided to join us today.
Indeed, we are. Debbie's going to be joining us in just a few minutes as soon as she figures out where the wall plug is. But we've been having a lot of fun getting ready to do the show today. You know how it is on Fridays. We normally have a very high vibe. We've already broken through that glass ceiling. So you got to be ready for just about anything today, and including energy shifts that kind of try to knock the system out, because that kind of thing happens when we get into this kind of a high vibe. So be ready for anything at all. Because among other things,
be back in a second.
well, that too, exactly. I mean, that's where a lot of the energy comes from, right there. But on top of that, we got extra energy because we've got Stacie, the Stacie from Taya Boot Camp, joining us today. You got to understand, Stacie is like she's like right up there with David. She's one of the very first people to graduate from the boot camp. She's like the head coach of the whole deal up there. And she's also the person who, when you do the groups, they have group meetings every week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And when you're in the group meeting, she's the one who's putting out little comments to give you these little pushes of encouragement. Because when you're doing the boot camp stuff, you're revealing a lot of personal stuff in the group. And it's all private to the group, but it's personal stuff. And it's not necessarily the easiest thing to do. And she's the one who's saying, oh, wow, you're doing great growth. That's wonderful stuff. Whoa, great new tool you got there. Constantly putting these little bits of encouragement out on the chat. I mean, I think everybody should have that in life.
Yes.
I think you should be able, right? You should be able to go through life and have somebody say, oh, nice job. Really, really good. Really. I mean, how much better would life be if we all had somebody like that, right?
Yeah, I think it would be awesome. But actually, that idea had occurred to me many years ago, before texting was really popular and before everybody jumped on the, COVID timing of having to have remote counseling and all that stuff. And I thought, God, wouldn't it be great?
Right?
Just pay a flat fee per month. You have somebody that you can just text. Hey, I just had this, or, oh, I'm experiencing that, or, oh, my car just broke down, or whatever. And they can go, oh, yeah, or whatever it was, in order to kind of pump you up.
It's like having your own cheering section.
Exactly. I'm really glad you appreciate my comments.
Oh, I do. I definitely do.
Get in the way of things,
I mean, a lot of times I'm just, I'm laughing at it. Sometimes I'm saying, whoa, that was really great. And I mean, I'm always seeing them and saying, oh, yeah, that's perfect. Where'd that come from?
Oh, you're sweet. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, Debbie knows what it's like. Debbie G, I mean, she's been through boot camp. I think you're actually doing it a second time now. You know what it's like to see those comments that Stacie puts into the chat when you're in the group. And it lifts you up, doesn't it?
Completely. I mean, Stacie, welcome to LOA Today. This is so wonderful.
I should have said that. Yes, what she said.
Hey, well, yeah, I just, and Spirituality Gone Wild, let's not forget, and neopositivity.com, just in case you all are wondering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really, there's a beautiful connection and community within Taya, and Stacie she's the glue to that, which I personally appreciate. Stacie, remember when I was going through and shit had hit the fan and it was just unbelievably redonkulous? Like,
I do.
In 2 years, I'm 2 miles from the beach in a gorgeous house that's mine, and just enjoying life. It looks really different externally. Internally, I would say that Taya Boot Camp has given me confidence that I didn't have before. I mean, I was confident, but I wasn't there's a difference within my confidence now, because what I think should be and what is and how I have my attachment to that and all that changed, but it was Taya. But Stacie, your comments, she keeps us, she's like, I don't know, maybe we should get her like a Taya cheerleading outfit kind of.
Good idea. I like that.
Just say it, Stacie.
I can resurrect my own high school cheerleading outfit. Find it.
No, I don't even know that.
Pom-pom. I know, exactly.
Oh my God. So you were actually a cheerleader.
Yeah.
No shit.
A theater.
I see this. Well, so was I. But I love that. But I love that, yeah, there's something but you have that cheerleading.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Rooting on the team.
Yep.
That is happening here. And I love that. It's still apparent in your personality. That's rad.
I knew
It
she
really
was
is.
there right off the bat.
You could tell.
The captain of the football team can always recognize a cheerleader.
I love it. I
I
love it.
love it. That's awesome.
100%. Hands down.
No, I
It's funny
think that's true.
being an uplifting, positive person. I remember when I was really young, I had tried out a Christian, kind of camp, explored that religion to see, what do I fit in here? And I had found an old journal when I was moving. I was about 15 years old, and it said, what are your life goals? And I wrote down to make other people laugh. And I was like, wow, it was so revealing to me. And to this day, the coaching, the enthusiasm, the support, the empathy, the compassion that I feel towards people, it just oozes out of me. And I don't know, I'm writing a coaching course. And at the moment I'm like, wow, how do I translate this into words? It's second nature. So I'm glad you guys feel it. It makes me very happy.
Good. Well, maybe we're also giving you some material for the book. I mean, like you said, you're having trouble putting it into words. Maybe you're going to be able to get some of the words from here. So there you go.
I better watch this recording later.
Well, somehow that's appropriate. In boot camp, you're supposed to watch the recordings, because that's part of the process. So here you are. We're basically passing it back to you. So here you are.
Thank you. Thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much. I'll take anything I can get about now.
Now, Neo, you had Stacie pegged the moment she came in here. I think that was pretty evident. Not just, like you said, you were a former quarterback, so, you could pick it up that way. But you also had it pegged just from the moment you saw her. I could just tell from the way you were reacting to her when we were meeting in the green room, so to speak.
Green.
And I'm curious, what were you seeing? What was it that was jumping out at you?
I was not a quarterback. I was wide receiver.
You were receiver. Oh, apologies.
Yeah, big time. But, I've explained it to you a couple of times. It's funny because you go into a room with 30 people and 4 people will stand out. And by the end of the night, you and those 4 people are somewhere talking about law of attraction or some kind of energy or being positive. And when it's a room with, just me and you, and then she pops in as one of those other people, it's a different room.
Yes.
Than that other room full of 40 people. It's a totally different room. And, definitely felt it. So when she came in, just like Debbie G, so when she came in, it's a different kind of energy between these two.
Well, when you get energy that high, it almost doesn't even matter what the difference is.
Exactly. I think Stacie said it perfectly about when she said she just wanted to make people smile. I mean, laugh, because laughter is like smile times 10. I mean, it's ultimate what you can do, and you could do it in so many different ways, in so many different professions, and so many different occupations. She didn't care about that. She cared about the main goal, and you got to have that mindset to succeed in the law of attraction. You have to 100%. And yeah, you can spot that. I'm an energy type person. I can feel that recliner. Just like if you were in a 1-car garage and it was empty versus putting a minivan in there, it just feels different. And I started meditating, I could feel that. And so I guess that plays in on it big too when I first meet people.
That's really good. Yeah. So, okay, Stacie, with that kind of introduction, you got to tell us a little bit about who Stacie was and where she came from. We know she was a cheerleader. We know she kept a journal when she went to church camp. But beyond that, what else?
So I've been born and raised on the West Coast. I had the absolute spectacular, beautiful childhood in Santa Barbara, California. And if any of you ever traveled there, it is paradise. And I go there occasionally still. Go ahead, Debbie G.
Oh, I'm just like, I didn't realize you were just in Santa Barbara. I'm in Huntington Beach.
No, now I'm in Woodland Hills, so I'm in LA.
Oh, well, yeah, but still.
Yeah.
You guys, she grew up. Yeah, I love where you grew up.
Yes, I do too. We were just there last night for dinner. So it's like, still get to go home. So that in itself, being close to the beach with the mountains in the background, it's a very held feminine energy, just kind of a sacred place. And growing up there, I had experienced, a really codependent family, a really alcoholic mother, a father who was very, very codependent on my mom, and being adopted. So I was constantly searching for that, who am I really piece? Mm-hmm. And so I started with, and being highly perceptual. Like I can, like Neo, walk into a room, know exactly who I want to talk to and who I'm not really interested in interacting with. knowing which direction to turn when the green light or red light happens. It's just, I did body working for years too. Massage and cranial sacral, lots of energy healing and sound healing and whatnot. So that aspect of me has been very heightened. I used to do readings for people also. So when we were joking around about channeling, it's like, oh yeah, I see dead people. So in my search, I think I've literally tried out and tasted every religion on the planet. Anything from Christianity to Catholicism, Buddhism, Hinduism, yoga. God, I can't even name them all anymore. Jewish. I was involved with a Jewish prayer group, which was so much fun. But I kept coming up again and again with that. This isn't quite it. So I found the law of attraction, I would say probably 15 to 20 years ago.
Okay.
And just really started playing with that. And again, I love Abraham Hicks. That was my, gateway into law of attraction. But I found it so frustrating. How do I make this really work? But there's a piece missing here still. Like, help me. And so, in 2017, I'm a very athletic person. I blew out my knee. I was, recovering, and I was not in a really good space, to tell you the truth. I was pretty depressed and single and trying to figure out, like, what's going on with my life? Trolling Instagram. David's face pops up, and he's a channel. And I'm like, ooh, I love male channels are so crystal clear. They don't let any of that outside stuff come in. Very direct, succinct. And I thought, this man, I need to talk with him right now. Send him a message, and he was like, yeah, I don't do privates anymore. Please. David.
Okay. You love David.
So I kind of had to beg him to talk to me. He gave me a stream session, and in that session, I knew from that very moment that he and I would work together. I just knew it.
Wow.
I was like, okay, we're going to build something spectacular together. And that was the birth of the Taya Bootcamp, Trust Your Abundance. He had started a beta program. It was all channeled by the stream. A woman and I decided to take it together. And he would get on a Zoom call and walk us through the PowerPoint slides. So we really got the full influx of the stream and David's energy. And we kind of helped it, develop and change a little. I don't know if you've gotten to module 8 yet, but that's written around some really specific experiences I had.
Oh, okay. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's really cool. So everything's evolved very, very easily. And the law of attraction has shown up over and over and again. And the pieces that David offers for, clearing your transgressors, coming into a radical acceptance and appreciation of everything that's occurred in your life, getting really clear on where you are in your vibrational spiral. Those things are the keys that were never offered to me before. And now, almost 4 years later, here we are. I'm still building. Now I'm coaching people. This is something, it's like I found my dream job finally, my calling. Yeah, it's awesome. And I adore David. He's like a brother. We bicker sometimes like brother and sister. But he's got such a fantastic drive and ambition to spread the word and to spread it to the world and to give everybody the keys to creating their absolute spectacular dreams, life, whatever they want. And
I was like, me and David need to meet.
You do?
Yeah, I was just.
And more importantly, David's stream and my stream, those seem like the ones.
But don't cross streams. That's dangerous. Sorry. Ghostbuster reference there.
That's freaking hilarious.
But yeah, I mean, I get up every morning looking forward to who's posted stuff on Facebook? What have they written? How are they experiencing things? Carrie, Carrie Jean.
Oh, Carrie.
David's,
She's been good.
David's assistant and myself, we come to tears often during the boot camp meetings because people's aha moments are shared in a way that it's palpable. And we both just weep in joy of how amazing this process is and how it's helped so many people. It's helped so many graduates.
There have been a lot of graduates.
Way through it. Yes. I think that it's around 100 already.
Mm-hmm.
Worldwide, which is it's so much fun. We've got a great group of folks in the UK right now. We've had lots of really neat people from Australia, one from Ireland that I can remember, another one from Iceland, Estonia. I mean, it's amazing to watch it ripple outward and to start affecting all these different people and attracting them. And
very satisfying.
Extremely satisfying.
Yeah.
Extremely. I don't want to monopolize this. I can just talk forever.
Well, when you were talking about Abraham Hicks, I was seeing Neo in his screen, and he was nodding up and down. Yeah, that's right. There is a missing piece there.
There's a missing piece. All that is the icing on top of the cake. It's like the movie The Secret was the cherry on top of the cake. But Tony Robbins and Esther Hicks and a bunch of those guys, they're giving the icing on top of the cake. But there's still layers of cake that might have M&Ms and Skittles and you don't know. So that's why I took it upon myself to dig deep. That's I guess where the thirst for that was everything for me. And I knew I wasn't going to get it outside of here. I knew I had to come inside, and that's when I learned to meditate. And from there, I learned how to tap into the source in a way where I enjoy my time there more than here. I'm sorry to say. Sorry, kids. But and when I go out to do my sessions, every night from midnight to 2 a.m, I basically go into my studio and just freestyle, I like to call it. Just speak from the heart. And that's where I come up with all my ideas for my movie, for my videos and stuff. And so, but that drive of having bits and pieces, breadcrumbs, and yearning for the answers to everything, that's what got me going. And that was the fuel that got me to be Neo. Neo was my stream. And I wanted to be that version so much that I kind of changed my nickname to Neo, to remind myself to spend as much time there as I can. And
Did it work?
It's a beautiful thing. No.
Whoa.
To be honest, I have this tattoo I got as a reminder. I got stuff hung up everywhere as reminders. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Life's coming at you. 100 different ways. By the way, I found a spot, signed a lease yesterday.
Oh, all right. Congratulations.
Now I got shelter. Stacie, I was, my landlord is selling the house, which is crazy because I've owned since I was 18. And, when I moved to Florida 2 years ago, it was the first time I really rented, and it was all fine and dandy because it's something breaks down. Call the daggone landlord. They'll take care of it. And all of a sudden, the year went by and the lease was up. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta leave. So, it was crazy. And the housing market in Florida is actually ridiculous. But I knuckled down. I used that whole believe thing I was talking about. We went live yesterday, me and Henry. And we just went hard about using the word believe. I believe I can this, or I can believe I will. I always say can and will are like poison words. You say I can, that produces a future where you're saying I can again. But if you put I believe I can in front of it, it changes the whole meaning of everything. The ego has to subside and let you sit in that. And your mind will throw at you a scenario supporting that. Now you're feeling it, you're visualizing it, you're sending out a different energy. So I've been using that like crazy. And like I said, out of nowhere, less than a day and a half after I started using it, got the house, got the lease signed. We're in here. Let's go. Beautiful.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Especially when you know that you have to be out and all of a sudden, bam, you're back in. That's really, really big.
Crazy thing is, with the market being what it is, the houses are gone the day they're listed.
Yeah.
Renting and for sale. The data listed, they're gone. I don't know how I managed to get a house that's better with a bigger yard. It's newer. It's a smart house. It's got a bigger driveway because I got my trailer, and it's closer to the people. That's a big part. The people in Florida that I live near, I love them to death, but they're not law of attraction. They're more like just really good people.
Mm-hmm.
The town that the universe put me in is surrounded by the pilots. Everybody hanging with the pilots down here, but they're surrounded by the pilots that I see every now and then. Once every 2 months, they come down and visit, but they're all law of attraction enthusiasts.
Oh, wow.
So and they're millionaires. So it kind of puts me in a better seat, as far as like lifestyle, who I'm going to be hanging out with, what I'm going to be doing. Though I'm going to miss my guys down here. It's just weird how the universe just plopped me right there. As soon as I let go, because I've been holding on for 2 months. As soon as I let go and I just said, I believe it's going to work out for the better. I believe everything's going to be cool. I believe the house is going to be better. And it's like, I do believe that. If I didn't have confidence in the law of attraction, so for those of you who are just getting into this, if you don't have ultimate confidence in the law of attraction, this might not work as well for you as it did for me. But I know my oneness with God and all that other stuff and all these different mental exercises that I have in place. So when I say that, there's no doubt. It's like it already happened, and you see that what the outcome is, signed lease.
That's beauty. That's an absolute beauty. Yeah.
I love it.
Now Debbie G, I got to bring Debbie G in here because you talked for a moment there about how when you went through your boot camp, the role that Stacie played, but give us some more details about that, because you went through, leading up to boot camp especially, you went through hell, and then you had to kind of, because of the way boot camp is, you kind of had to revisit the hell while you're going through. What was that like, and going through that and having somebody like Stacie in your corner to kind of back you up?
Well, I mean, those are all great questions. First, I just want to say that, I mean, I've been listening to Stacie and Neo, and one of the things that remains the same is our confidence and belief in our own knowingness and who that we are. And I want everybody who's listening to really tap into the nuggets that are there. When you're listening to somebody tell you about the wonderful thing that's going on in their life, and if you're sitting there going, well, that's really great, but that's not what I'm getting. Okay, and you're a negative Nelly. Sorry if your name is Nelly. Then there's some other things that there were some predecessors that led up to that, though. If you were listening, there are some actionable things that everybody talks about doing in order to receive and be in the reality of their preference. So when I was going through Taya, I had, when I met David, it was at a Mystic Mixer, and he walked in, and he was just like, it was like instant magnet. I'm like, whoop. Like, oh.
I remember that. He told me about that.
Oh my gosh. It was so awesome. And my best friend Josie, their birthday's a day apart. They both channel, right? It's crazy awesome. So I meet him, and I'm just like, it was instant love. This guy is just amazing. And I love David, his energy and everything. It was just wonderful. But it took a few months. Finally, I get around to, thinking, I'll just go on and learn. I'll go on into Taya. I'm sure it'll be beneficial. That was my attitude. All the while, I don't know where I'm going to live. My son's just freaking pulled a whopper on me, and he's like he's just did a wonderful thing of getting off of heroin and stepping away from the edge. Literally, you guys. There was so much transition happening. So when I actually took this step to do this, I was literally in what an outside observation would have been a pile of shit. In my observation, I am going on an adventure. Why? Because I was taking Taya, and Taya was this beautiful place for me to start developing better daily practices. Better daily practices, you see, because it's all about that consistency and keeping that daily practice up. Plus, I also want to mention one more thing, and it has to do with Taya. You brought up Tony Robbins, raising your standards. raise your standards. Raise your standards from within yourself. What are you willing to do? What are you willing to do? You say, I want this, I blah, 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 blah. What are you willing to do in your life and let go of? Are you willing to die to self and die to the thought of who you think you were and go into a different space? And Taya can help you do this through the daily practices. It can help you to determine what it is you really do want. It helps you to release. A lot of people are stuck on this whole forgiveness trip, and Taya is big on forgiveness, but I've gotten to this space now of what about just seeking to understand another? And that's what David would. Did you hear David talking about this recently, Stacie?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How all of a sudden forgiveness no longer even looks like what that was more of an ego thing for me to have to forgive, or I need your respect because that's more of an ego thing. When I stepped completely aside and I went into a different space, what Taya taught me during that time was the observation, to observe from the eyes of source and to seek understanding, to want to have connection that's real. To learn how to get happy where you sit. Okay, y'all? Well, look, if I can get happy in a rented car sitting on a beach with my son and my 2 dogs in the unknown, and say, yep, I'm good. We're on an adventure. You know why I was good? Because I've got a son still breathing, which that number one, that was really honestly pretty simple. I mean, it's not hard. You have a kid that was like not doing so well, but let's say that's not the case and you're just still in another place and you don't feel like you're breathing. You can take a breath and you can make a choice right now to choose to love and be happy wherever you sit. And I've done it I thought I'd already, I'll be just honest, I thought I was through all this. I thought all that. I'd already lost everything once. I thought I was through with that. And then I apparently, as I look back retrospectively, got a little too up in myself again, up in my ego, to the point where I needed to get down and dirty with myself again and get flatlined so that I could see the truth. And that truth was really simple, to choose to be happy and choose to appreciate, radical appreciation. And that's the thing that Taya teaches you the most about. And that is that radical appreciation of life, of presence, of knowing, and of the people that you're with. Yeah, baby.
I want to ask a question of all 3 of you. But I seen it. Hi, Donna, Anita, and Sandra, and Nicole in the comments. Hey, y'all.
Thanks for acknowledging. Yes, absolutely.
I find that sometimes 30 to 60 days, 90 days, I might hit a spell where I just need to go check in. I might have to go in my studio and yell for a little bit. Just yell. Is it, it's a beautiful, because the day after that's always amazing and everything I wanted it just comes at me. So I kind of suggest doing it. But is it something that I should be doing regularly, as in once a month just to do it, or wait until it gets to that point where I just need to go scream some shit out real quick? You know what I mean? What would you guys suggest? Wait till
Stacie
spills over, or just do it monthly to get it out the way and stay. No.
It's interesting because, one of the things that we really watch when we're coaching people through the Taya course and they learn these tools themselves, it's like, okay, how does one meet your obstacles in joy? Debbie was really, very well illustrating that fact by being in the present moment and feeling, okay, this is okay. That rolls back to the place of fully accepting your creation as it is right now because you created it. No victim mode, no blaming somebody else, no, all that's eliminated because you've gone backwards even further to see and appreciate why you created those things as a childhood that form your belief system now. That woman or a teacher that said a specific things to you when you were, in grade school, and it imprinted in your mind that, perhaps you couldn't have everything you wanted. So it's this gradual unfolding and unraveling of the things that had happened in the past that are still affecting you now. So once you've got that unraveled and you're clear what's going on, you have to figure out where you are on a daily basis. Every moment to moment at times. Walt knows this one. He's practicing. Where are you on your spiral of vibration?
Right.
Right? And it's associated with the emotions. So where are you? Are you down in a lower, depressed, angry, down the spiral vibe? Or are you up above joy like we were when dorking around on the call before we even started going live, where you're really high? And it's like that polarity, that flow is going to occur all the time. This is the piece, in my opinion, that doesn't get discussed in regular formats of law of attraction. We are going to experience down moments and up moments. It's inevitable, just like death and taxes, right?
But we came into this life to experience it.
Exactly. See, we're already brainwashing Walt here.
Well, I did that before I got into Taya. Taya just reinforced it for me. But,
yeah. And it is. It's like, okay, so one of the typical practices is like, okay, my car, I walk out, I'm in a hurry, my tire's flat. Oh man, what the, and you start to see how you're creating kind of obstacles in your way. Sometimes they're little. If you ignore it long enough, it gets worse and worse and worse. Then your car doesn't run, then your car gets repossessed, and maybe you get in an accident, So Taya's is, how can you catch yourself like you're screaming, in your studio? It's the same type of thing. It's like, you can't so much predict when it's going to happen, but you can start to watch how your patterns unfold and how you can modulate it faster. So you're not going way down deep into a scary place and way down deep into depression. I mean, we've all been there. I've been horribly depressed in the past, and I don't have any of those symptoms anymore, and probably never will, because I was taught tools to get out of those.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't being in deep depression that's the problem. It's staying there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's also really, learning why I was there, why I created that. Mm-hmm. There's also, I love this. There's beauty in exhaustion, at least in my experience in the past, because that's a place where my mind was dead silent. My ego had nothing to share. My belief system was pretty flatlined, and I could finally meet source, universe, all that is, whatever you want to call it, my higher self on a clean slate where I could sit back and allow things to be received. So it's the constant flow of like, okay, we got all this life coming at us. How do we modulate being the eye of the storm, the center of the chaos, grounded into the earth, into our bodies, and connected to source? So for me, it's all of those things happening every single day, sometimes moment to moment. You're interacting with folks. It never stops unless you stop breathing.
Mm. Which you'll eventually do.
We all do, yes.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Thanks, Paul, for that reminder.
So, all right, listen. Hey, Stacie, have you ever thought, just by chance, that it's just I think we've heard the stream even maybe say this. Sometimes we do have these moments because we would get bored. If we had everything all the time, straight up, just the way we want it, if I could just, I don't know, I'm 53. If I could just sit on the beach all day and just like chill and just do whatever I want all the time. Wait a minute, I do live like that. Oh yeah. No, but we do. I think that we need that stretch. I feel like every time we go in to that space that's uncomfortable, it stretches us back out. It stretches our awareness of understanding ourselves. Mm-hmm. It also reminds us what it's like to feel something. Because listen, if you're pissed off, at least you're not down here in Depressoid City, getting ready to drop down and to go into grief and in victim mode so hardcore that, you know, there's not much more there's not much more to go down except to croak. So in anger, I always feel like anger is at least an expression of emotion. It's an expression of something. Understanding ourselves, I get angry. That's one of my things. Like I notice about myself that when I'm not speaking my truth about something, when I'm not being in full on, when there's not honesty happening, when there's not integrity happening, I will get angry about this. And this came up for me recently and I got raving mad about it. And I realized and I sat back, thank you. I love me for getting pissed off right now. You know why? Because I just realized confident people don't lie.
Mm.
Well, and being in that space, like you're saying, is really powerful because you're able to discern your preference. You're having the power to choose. Yes, this works for me. No, this doesn't work for me. And from that choice, you have a clearer vision of, oh yeah, I really do want to go that direction. And I am willing to sacrifice being in this mode to get where I want to go. And that's an amazing tool.
But don't we do it sometimes, Stacie? I think just to remind ourselves we're human.
Yes, sure. I agree. Well, again, like the law of attraction talks about, but doesn't talk about, is that there is always polarity going on. There's always a flow. The earth is not stagnant. We're rotating. Seasons change. It's nighttime. It's daytime. You know, it's like there's constant movement all the time. Energy in motion. That's all emotions are. Energy in motion, which is one of my favorites.
Isn't that just the cutest thing? I love that.
That was too. I have all these things that I say, and now Mona, apparently one of our boot camp students, is writing them all down. So she's going to go back. I say all these weird things, but they make sense apparently. That for me is finding the joy in your obstacle, is seeing that there is a gift in that space and being able to discern clearly what you want, in taking your power to accept, okay, I have a choice here. That's super powerful. No one's taking it away from me. No one's telling me what I have to do. I can choose. And in that clarity, I can move forward in whatever direction I choose is appropriate in that moment. You know, there are times when we move into a space where we're like, oh, maybe a little bit more of that obstacle that we were really appreciating. Again, it illuminates further. There needs to be more discernment, more clarity here. But, you know, my favorite, letting myself off the hook, is it seemed like a good idea at the time.
That's a good one. I like that.
Right?
Yeah.
No judgment. It just seemed like a good idea at the time, right?
I should add that on.
I freaking love that. Okay, but what do you guys think of confident people have integrity?
I think it's true.
Confident people they have no need to lie. And the reason why is because they're confident in who they are and they're not worried about someone else's opinion. They're coming from a place of compassion and empathy, but they also know that they're worthy and deserving of what that they feel, who that they are. And if they need to say, they don't need to lie about the choices that they make. Confident people, I do not feel have to do that. That's what came out of me getting pissed off at being lied to. I was like, confident people don't need to lie. Oh, raise your standards. And, oh, thank you for showing me that. You didn't meet my value for integrity and confident people. So then I went into seeking to understand them. I want to understand you better and understand the reason that came up for you versus you're a liar, go away from my reality. Instead, I flipped that, but I promise you, I need tools like Taya to do this because I want to understand. So what do you guys think about confidence, lying, and then what that outcome can look like?
I think absolutely. In fact, I think what problem you're pointing at here that kind of trips us up is that there are a lot of people who have learned how to fake confidence. And that's what you were responding to. You're responding to the ones who are faking confidence. You're saying, oh, wait a minute. What am I responding to here? That person, if they were really confident, they would be saying that. That's the realization that you're arriving at there. So I think the real point is it's the people who are genuinely confident who fit that profile that you're painting there. And the ones who are faking it are the ones who are they're kind of trying to pull the wool over our eyes a little bit. Don't pay no attention to the man behind the curtain, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, they're putting the wool over their own eyes, actually, because we're intuitive as hell. We listen to things. We all know, you all know that there is a flip in any like storytelling from anybody. We catch it faster. I mean, it's like, it goes blink, 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 blink. Like we catch inconsistencies in storytelling from another person faster than they can even tell a story. So when it is, but it's really that, yes, I agree. Confident people, there can be fake it till you make it, blah, 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 yada, yada. And I've been there too. I'm talking about when you make a decision in life and you are holding to that split, that space. I made this decision, but you're afraid to tell other people about your decision. Well, my question became instead of looking at they may have lied to me was, confident people don't lie. And two, what is it about whatever decision you made that you don't believe in if you're not willing to talk?
And three, why did you attract that energy in your life in the first
I
place?
was just
Yeah.
back it up.
Back it up. Take it back to you.
Well, three, I
What
love
did I
it.
do to manifest that into my life in the first place?
Exactly,
That eliminates
exactly.
every other question.
It certainly does.
That's
I
why I'm saying
agree.
back it up. Take it back further. You'll get it.
I love that.
MIT said, find the root of the problem and you'll find the solution, something like that.
Yes.
Go back to the root. What did I do to manifest
Go
that?
back to
Why
the
am I
root.
being taught this lesson? Because if I don't learn it, I'm going to get taught again, even harder. And you've got to wake up to that. And that brings me to what I wanted to ask everybody. Because I know my listeners, I'm live streaming this on Facebook right now.
Oh, cool.
You beat me to it there. You beat me to it, Debbie G. You just beat me to it.
We got you in a second, Kirk, because I'm going to forget this. The actual, see, I'm forgetting it already. The actual waking up, because everything you guys are saying are great, and us four can relate to that because we're used to waking up more often because we've conditioned ourselves to wake up more often. But to the average person who doesn't even know what waking up is and is really trying to get into this, how do they, like me, I got a tattoo, I got alarms that go off on my phone, all kind of stuff to wake me up, and most of it doesn't even work. Just like Walt said, did your name work? So it's like, how did you guys practice to wake up more throughout the day from all the madness that's going on around? I would assume none of us have like a normal job. I'm retired. Walt's basically retired, kind of, so
I want to be more retired. Let's put it that way.
we live a different life than that. An average person that's working 40 to 60 hours a week. How do they start to wake up more? What mental exercise and practices do they do to start to wake up more? My answer is the ultimate cheat sheet. Just keep saying, I'm so happy and thankful that I wake up more often. That's how I did it. And I just kept waking up like, why do I keep waking up to this moment? Oh yeah, be thankful for something. Water's great. Whatever the situation is. So how do you guys wake up more often? How would you suggest other people do it?
The first thing I do is I recognize the problem.
You can
That's
even
the
go
hardest
back.
part.
Yeah, I'll go back even farther though. Like Neo's saying, gratitude is the key.
Oh, it is.
That is the first step.
Oh, yeah.
To find gratitude in that moment and to experience that gratitude. How does it feel in your body?
But that's the
Can
wake
you breathe
up.
either? Yeah, that's
the wake up. When the bad shit's happening, you have an opportunity to think of gratitude because but since you're not used to waking up, you're still going to focus on that bad stuff.
That's why I'm saying you have to recognize, you have to see that bad shit's there. You got to say, oh yeah, this is bad shit. I don't like this.
That's what I'm looking for. How does someone wake up to a moment where they wouldn't have normally woken up to? How do you remember to do something you don't remember to do?
I think it just kind of boils over at some point. You just reach a point where you say, I'm just sick of this.
That's happened to me.
I was just going to say, if it's not working, change it. So I can give you mine. Mine was really easy. I started doing the opposite. Whenever I had something come up, in fact, this is one of my favorite practices. I haven't done this in a minute. But whenever I had something come up that I would normally respond to in a certain way or react, then I would say to myself, do I want to, always done it this way. Have you guys ever been one of these people that said, well, I've always done it this way. I was brought up, blah, 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 attached to some stupid story. And I'm like, yeah, and it got you where, and you're still where?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Out for you.
How's it working for you? Just curious. Sometimes I don't know how I'm going to take. I don't know. So I asked myself, how's that working for me? And in a split second, the way I would flip something, and right now, and it works, is I'm going to do the opposite. If I would normally get angry, if I would normally respond in a negative victim, I would say I got to do it differently. I'm going to get curious and do it differently. Be curious with what the situation means and what that I need to see from this right now. Instead, you take a breath and you pause. Everything's working for us, not against us. We all know that. But in that conditioning, our old conditioning said, this is happening to you. Our new conditioning, this is happening for me. And so when we're saying to ourselves, okay, now I really need to do this differently. How is this working for me? I really can't see this right now, but that's okay too. And then we can step in to do some appreciation somewhere. I want to say hey to Kirk though. Kirk Nermy is back. We still have to get him on, Walt. But I love what he said, and confidence, the fake kindness related to the approval of others. Yes, exactly. Real confidence, you don't care. No, you don't at all. Period. But yeah, back to the daily practice on how, Kirk, what did you do, Kirk, if you're still on, to do the switchy, to do the little switchy poo, the little pivot? And y'all know, Kirk is an amazing, he's a really well-known speaker out there, and he's an amazing inspiration to us all, and I love you, Kirk. Just thought saying that.
I love what Donna's writing down here too. For me, it's trusting my intuition and gut feelings more often. Oh. Yes.
We just do it again, Debbie.
Yeah, that's a great tool, because you know how you work, you know what makes you feel a certain way. And then I love your I would dovetail off the curiosity bit. I'm the perpetual 3-year-old. Why? Why? I mean, that's the question I ask not only myself, but others. In fact, I dated one guy and he finally told me, you get 3 questions in a row and that's it. Cause he couldn't like get into the groove of the curiosity that I have. Yeah. And then you gotta have
3 questions, that's it. I noticed that was that's why I was just saying, that guy you were dating.
Was.
Yeah, was.
And then you have to really have the courage, in my opinion, to face the truth. Mm-hmm. Face the truth that we're most likely to ignore and not want to look at. You've got to have a baseline of curiosity, courage, and then support. We're not supposed to do this by ourselves, ever.
No.
Humanity is a herd. You need community. You need people to remind you, like Neo was hearing me say something that reminded him, which I can't even remember what it was now. But it's that kind of thing. We need those things in our lives. And, COVID was a blatant example of having to be apart from each other, but how we all got super creative.
Right. Yes.
To reconnect through Zoom and music and a funny post, and TikTok went sky high with all the posting. And I thought it was brilliant. Yeah. Brilliant to see as a race, as a humanity, that we are so creative and our desire to connect is so very strong.
Totally
and
agree.
When we get in a funky space and we start feeling ugly because I'm facing a truth that I don't like about myself and I really don't want other people to see, that's when we have a tendency to hide. And that's dangerous.
I want to point something out here that could very easily slip past people's attention about what Stacie just did. Because look at the topic she just addressed, the pandemic. This is like the negative topic. There have been a lot of negative topics the last year and a half. But that was the negative topic. And look what you did to just turn that into this tremendous positive. You talk about Abraham Hicks. There's the Abraham Hicks pivot in a nutshell right there. And it was beautifully done. So, I mean, anybody who's kind of missing, the great beauty of what happened, how do you appreciate the pandemic? That's how you appreciate the pandemic. Right there.
Yeah. And I love I love the clarity that people are coming to.
Mm.
I don't want to go back to work, sit in an office,
Right?
in traffic, and deal with people that I don't really vibe well with anymore.
I'll tell you what I would not want right now. I would not want to be the owner of an office building.
Yeah, no kidding. There's so many.
Seriously, that is a business that's in trouble at this point. They just haven't figured it out yet. But people don't want to go to offices anymore. That's going to completely rewrite the economic landscape.
It's such rich territory for people to really discern what they love, how do they thrive in life? That's one of my key things. I want to thrive, not just live. And so every day that's my mantra. How can I thrive? Whether it be with exercise, food, community, travel. I love to travel. How can I get to a point where I feel like I'm thriving? Whatever that is for anybody, it's so unique for each one of us. And that's huge too.
How do we find Stacie on Facebook? They want you, Stacie. You're in demand.
Well, you can find me on the Tya Practice page, TYA Practice. I'm there a lot. My last name is not up on the screen. I apologize. I should type that in. But you can find me there.
I didn't even try to name your last name because I'm not sure I can pronounce it properly. So I just said Stacie. We'll just stick with that. It's nice and safe.
Clenet is my last name.
It's Clenet. It is Clenet. I was wondering.
Okay. Yeah, and it's my former married last name. I haven't switched to my new married last name because everybody knows me as Stacie Clenet.
Okay.
So I was like, the conundrum. It's just unbelievable.
Actually, Stacie has a really cute story about meeting her new husband and getting married, which is really inspirational to me. I want to add in one more thing before that we get off of our C's, adding compassion. Listen, no matter what you're going through, even if you're seeing something about yourself, have compassion for yourself because that is your beautiful need to be loved. That's what you needed to do to be seen, to be heard, or whatever the case may be. We all go through stuff, but how we treat ourselves compassionately is important. So I loved that. Now, and also we got to go through the pandemic in Tya. So, hey,
so wonderful.
It was
like, great.
Because once you do it, you're in. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But it gave so many people an opportunity to stop and really focus on themselves. And again, as we start to get back to the new normal or whatever the heck it is that we're all going to get back to, we're ramping up the energy of going back into the real world, the bigger world, dealing with all these different things. And not to mention social media that's pinging every 10 minutes, my phone, oh my God, on my emails, and I've got jobs and my kids screaming. And it's like, whoa, can you stop? Can you take a deep breath?
Yeah.
Can you come back to yourself? And as Donna said, can you find your gut? Can you find that intuition? What feels right? That's your best guidance right there. You don't need me or Walt or Neo or anybody else to tell you that.
Or me. No.
Whoa, Neo's like, wait a second.
You had me up until that last one. Everyone needs WG.
That is, that is really the step in the best direction you can take. And then having love and compassion for everything that you've experienced in the past, everything that you're going to continue to create, and know that it's all perfectly unfolding.
Real quick, I want to piggyback off of what Debbie said. I think it's critically important piece to the law of attraction is no regrets. I always like to say what happened, what was meant to happen, and couldn't have happened any other way. You know how I know? Because that's what happened. That is the only way to live peacefully, is to get rid of any regrets, because those will make you hate yourself more than anything. Yeah.
Seemed like a good idea at the time.
Because people could bark in your ear all day long, and, they're not there when you sleep or when you shower, when you're there though. And if you're the one bickering, that's why I say try to protect yourself from threats, both foreign and domestic. You're there, though. Sometimes you're your own worst enemy, and you don't even know it. Wake up. See what's going on. Listen to what's going on. Pay attention. If you don't like it, change it. If you don't like it, change it.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the transgressors that we find in Tya Boot Camp course. more often than not, the thing that's holding you back the most is yourself. You have created, demonized who you are, what you've experienced, the choices you've made in your life, and you're angry at yourself. And that's a huge root to why all of your world is not working, no matter how hard you try to apply the law of attraction. You got to come back to loving yourself.
That's
I was just kicking my ass right now. Can we all just give Walt like this huge brownie button for vulnerability? And I'm serious. That was awesome.
Wow. Thank you.
Button pushed. Brownie button pushed. I'm going to push it again just because I like it.
Thank you very much.
Brownie button push. I see a song coming. I'm feeling it. Walt, that was so freaking cool. And on Gentlemen, start your engines. Vulnerability is the new sexy. But before we go, and Neo, God, I love you. Thank you for bringing that beautiful grand finale in. Stacie, we got to hear about this wedding. Y'all want to hear some Taya cool shit? Watch this. This is actually pretty rad. I'm serious. You got to hear this.
Which part do you like best?
Any part you want to tell?
Okay, so after I blew my knee out, found David, and I realized, I need something to do. I'm single. I was in my 50s at the time. And I was like very hopeless around finding a relationship again. So I worked the law of attraction. I worked Taya and came to a space where I was like, I am so good with just me and my connection to source. I am so good here. I learned that I wanted to explore myself more, old things that I had done when I was in, high school and junior high. So I started backpacking again, out in nature. I'm sorry, you guys. That's the place that just fills my soul to overflowing.
Don't have to apologize for that. That's great.
Oh, God, it feeds me on a level. David thinks I'm absolutely nuts. I will pack 30 pounds of survival on my back and go and get lost. And
I found out yesterday that David's into whiskey and black coffee, so
yes,
okay, you're fine.
And 5-star resorts.
5-star resorts. Okay.
Yeah, totally.
So, just got really comfortable in knowing that I want to connect with nature by myself. I want to be solo out there and feel super confident. Took a couple of classes, was going on my first hike where it was a somewhat solo thing. There's a bunch of people gathered together for a potluck the night before, and I met this lovely gentleman. Well, he was wearing a wedding ring, and it was very nice, so, friend zoned him very quickly. Right? Got back to focusing on me. Well, I'm out on the trail. I'm dying the next day, dying. I'm thinking, I'm an Aries. I'm always the front of the pack. I was at the very fucking back. So, sorry. And it
wasn't me.
Oh my God. I was devastated. My mind was churning. My body was aching. I was sweating like a pig. I was so pissed, but I just kept going because I'm also stubborn. So all of a sudden this nice man that I had met that night before shows up next to me. Hey, how you doing? Mind if I hike with you? And I'm like, the whole 12 miles of the hike, I tried to convince him that he didn't need to be around me.
I love that.
You should go. I'm fine. I'll turn back. And he was like, no. So, that's how we met. That's how we progressed in our love story. We did have a big breakup and I thought I'd never see him again. And then I came to peace with that again through the Taya tools. I created this amazing connection. Felt like my soulmate, my twin flame. I was very distraught about it. I got really, down, and then I realized, no, it's okay. Found a great one. I know I can do it again. I believe the next right person will come into my life at the right time. And about a year and a half later, he showed up again. And we were just meeting for coffee, and I thought, closure. This is great. A little closure after he's had time to process because he wasn't into all this law of attraction. In fact, he's a scientist. And in that moment of seeing each other again, it was like, no, this is it. This was it for both of us. and he dropped everything that he was doing in his life with other women romantically.
Okay.
And there we go. We ended up getting married a year later at Glacier Point in Yosemite, which overlooks our favorite rock, Half Dome, which we like to hike annually.
Nice.
Beautiful.
So I guess I am the relationship expert in Taya as well, which we, talk about from time to time. And David's very cute. He doesn't want to sell me out, that I got married when I was 54. So ladies, don't ever give up on your ability to find love. But the key is love yourself first.
First
And foremost.
What a great way to climax this show. That was a beautiful story.
I'm glad you
Just
enjoyed
truly,
it.
truly beautiful. That was fabulous. Thanks so much for coming to join us today.
My pleasure.
It's been fun. It always is fun when we have a guest like you, but this was really fun. This was really
love
great.
it. Anytime.
Oh, hey, be careful what you say. Be careful what you wish for. You'll be back.
Good. So it's such a
Good
pleasure
stuff.
working with you guys. I love Debbie G and what she does. I'm so pleased to have Walt as a boot camp student. It's so much fun to see your perspective on things. And Neo, I need to look you up so I can learn more about you. Thank you for sharing your
I need
energy.
you to come speak at the summit August 21st. That's what I need you to do.
Ah! Tell me where to be.
The wheels are turning. I love it.
Indeed. I love how we all gather. This high vibe, expansive, leading edge. Like we're thinking about stuff that other people are just like, what?
Yeah.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome.
We're the pioneers.
Yep.
So let's pioneer.
Absolutely. Well, all right. Well, thank you guys very much. Thank you especially to our podcast listeners everywhere. We will see you all next time here on LOA Today. Goodbye, everybody.